Hello, everyone. Welcome back to yet another political episode. So, we're looking at the state of Vermont tonight. Vermont is, I want to believe, our second to last state that we will be doing. We have Virginia. Well, let's see. I don't want to say this completely, but we've got, as you know, Alabama, Arkansas, California, Colorado, Maine, Massachusetts, Minnesota, North Dakota, Oklahoma, Tennessee, Texas, Utah, Vermont, and Virginia, and of course Iowa. We got a whole bunch of states done, and now we are on the state representing the most democratic state in the country, and for the Democratic Party, and that's Vermont. And we are taking this. We're gonna kind of enter this video into saying that this could be considered a Biden win. However, a lot of people, like Trump supporters, do not take it that way, because if you guys have followed politics for a very long time and follow political trends, Vermont has made its way up to being the most democratic state in the country. And in 2008 led a, I would say, 13-year trend, and that trend was Hawaii being the most democratic state. But in 2020, the first time in 3 consecutive presidential elections, a new state trumped the leaderboard for the Democratic Party, and that is Vermont, voting for the Democratic Party, Joe Biden in this case, by 66%. It's weird because Vermont also has a Republican governor, and that is Phil Scott. And Mr. Governor Scott has been known for being very progressive, very liberal, and he openly calls himself a liberal. He is ultimately one of the leaders for President Biden's governor boards. Ultimately, he is a part of the governors for Biden. He has ultimately pledged and endorsed Nikki Haley, and we knew he would. And ultimately, we know he thinks Nikki Haley is too right wing for him, but he has no choice. Other than that, she thinks as Nikki Haley as a compromiser. Well, I would say as an instigator, like easy to manipulate, because Nikki Haley, of course, is trying to get support from the anti-Trump Republican Party, anti-Trump faction of the Republican Party. And you'll see here that this primary specifically is going to be pretty interesting. Vermont, first off, I think voters came out and voted. And this is the state that I think Joe Biden enjoyed the most from. And that being because not because he won 85%, which I don't think would be his best win. But to be honest, around the Vermont has more than 56,000 people. And we need to expect that around a very small percentage of people are actually going to go out and vote. And we kind of knew from the beginning Joe Biden would win. We have Cenk Uygur, who for some reason is on this ballot. He is a born Turkish American. He was running in this presidential election, and I don't know where he is from, but he said, hey, you know what? We're going to win the state of Vermont, and we're going to get support. And part of the reason was people that were like, no, you aren't going to win the state of Vermont. Okay, let's be honest. Cenk Uygur did much better than he at least got 1.0%, 700 votes. Voters went out and voted, and it seems that he beated some couple write-ins. But here's the thing. Rashida Tlaib, a write-in, and Rashida Tlaib, as you know, is the progressive Palestinian woman from Michigan. She wasn't running, and I guess diehard pro-Palestine supporters from far left Vermont decided to write her in. And it looks like that write-in was way more popular than old Shank Uyghur, if you will. And then there's also untibulated write-ins. Yeah, some write-ins that probably cannot usually take the office of president, but ultimately we have Dean Phillips at 1,942, and then finally Marianne Williamson at 2,874 votes. But yes, huge L to Cenk. He lost big, but hey, guess what? He beat a whole bunch of write-ins, and these write-ins were quite interesting. Cenk Uyghur beat the eventual winner of the American Samoa Caucus, Jason Palmer, who won 404 votes. He even beat RFK Jr., and who apparently was too right-wing for the Democratic Party. The Democratic Party was so quick to ditch him. Then came in Bernie Sanders. Apparently, 280 voters voted for Sanders in his home state. Nikki Haley, they decided to write Nikki Haley in. I guess there were some Republicans that were like, you know what, we're gonna write Nikki Haley in for the Democrat caucus. That didn't really work out well. Cornel West, Donald Trump was written in the Democratic primary by 64 people, surprisingly. Michelle Obama, Jill Stein, Claudia de la Cruz. There's Kamala Harris was written, Gretchen Whitmer, Gavin Newsom, Elizabeth Warren, and uncommitted was not on the ballot and only received 5 votes. Well, it looks like the pro-Palestinian movement. Oh, I guess it's popular. They just decided to go and write in Rashada Tlaib, who is actually the 4th legitimate person to come in. Well, actually, no, 5th legitimate person to actually come into 5th place. So that is the Iowa caucus. You'll see, the Iowa primary, the Vermont primary. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I've done over 10 videos of these. It's getting old. So yeah, you see the trends, over 90 percentage points. You see this county right here, I forgot the name, but this county is the most Democratic. It doesn't have Burlington, it doesn't have Montpelier, but it has less people, and the less people happen to be overwhelmingly Democrat, making this county going over almost 80% Democratic. No one lives here, it's completely rural. But for this county decided to stay with the stay in 80% range, while other counties up here, as you know, they're all Democratic except for Essex, I believe, is the most conservative. But Essex County continued to stay along with the Republican, well, as you know, 80%. But yeah, deep blue areas, you see the trends. The more liberal areas, Burlington, the county that holds Burlington, actually voted 80% range. This county holds Montpelier, voted 90%. So I think that's Lemoyle. I don't know. I'm not a fan of Vermont. I will tell you that. Let's take a look at the Republican primary in Vermont. Now, a lot of people are going to say it's a Biden win because Nikki Haley won her first state. That's right. This is going to be her first state. Well, you want to challenge Nevada. Did Nikki Haley legitimately win Nevada? Well, apparently, none of these candidates won, as you know, 63.3% of the popular vote. However, a legitimate person needs to carry the delegations. And heck, I don't think there is going to be delegations given to Nikki Haley. This is the caucus being given, the delegate count giving Donald Trump 26 votes, but Nikki Haley basically is the winner of Nevada caucus, despite not carrying any counties. RIP. But technically, she did carry Nevada. She will tell you that. But But this is the state that she kind of legitimately won, and I'm not surprised. Let's remember, Vermont most is under a establishment dictatorship, and that dictator is, as you know, Phil Scott. And Scott rules with an iron fist. And I'm not going to go across the board here, but maybe take a little peek. Vermont is the most populous governor in the United States. Heck, he won 70% of the popular vote. His biggest win in the state of Vermont, in the most democratic state. And you'll be like, how is it the most democratic state? Because this guy is clearly does what the Democrats want him to do. He kneels his knees and he goes and he gives money to the Democrats. Of course, it's going to be a Democrat like Brenda Siegel, who actually thinks he's too far right and goes and attacks him. But ultimately, most Vermontans love this guy. And ultimately, we need to kind of keep this guy. I mean, we want to keep every state red legitimately, politically. We know Vermont, this guy's not a Democrat. This guy's a Democrat. This guy wants us to believe he's a Republican, but nope, he's a Democrat. He actually has committed himself to the Democrat platform. He has converted himself to left-wing views. This guy's a liberal. Yeah, this guy's a total Democrat. But guess what? You know what? He's going to basically kind of trick Republicans along and say, I'm a Republican. I have R by my name. But yeah, the Democrats love this guy because under Scott, the Republican Party is no legitimate threat to the Democratic legislature, government-controlled legislature, the Democratic-controlled legislature, and they continue to hold power in the state. So no wonder Democrats are continuously building in the state of Vermont due to this rhino establishment in the state of Vermont. Yeah, but if you ever want to flip Vermont red, you got to get a hard left winger. That's just how it is. And it's kind of always been that way. The 40s and 30s was probably the only time Vermont was really conservative. The 80s, like I said, conservative. The 70s, 60s, the 30s, all the way through. But yeah, that's because the GOP was neocon back then. And all the neocons just ran to Barack Obama for comfort. So yeah, and you'll see Scott is more challenged in his own Republican primary than actually in the general. So that's because there's at least some Republicans that are putting up a fight, but the Republicans in Vermont know that they don't have a chance. They are not going to win unless they elect our famous clown right here. But yeah, this is kind of how it went. The endorsements, more people endorsed Nikki Haley overall. Jim Douglas, I don't know if he's a famous left winger. We'll find out. Let's look up keywords. Moderate is a huge word. And moderate for a Republican means left wing. I'm sorry, you're not a moderate. You're a complete troll. You're trolling, honestly. You actually think and want us to believe you're a moderate. Ha! Crazy. And this guy, yeah, he's been the Republican. Yeah, he's the former governor too. I don't know if I don't know if he's more conservative, but yeah, he was the governor of Vermont for a while. He ended up endorsing Haley, but they got state representatives. The only real guy that was strong enough was Randy Quaid, who is a Vermonter. He's actually based actor, and you'd think, actor from Vermont, very far left, but actually Randy Quaid was bold and based enough to go and endorse Donald J. Trump because they know Nikki Haley has zero experience. She doesn't even know provinces of Ukraine and Israel. She knows nothing. So, yeah, that's my talk in regards to the situation in Vermont, the Vermont results. Nikki Haley, congratulations, wins 9 delegates. Donald Trump, 0. And they go, ha, 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 ha. Really? Really? We're just happy we got this far. 63% Wow, 63%. I have, like, we've got this far, and Trump is almost going to win this nomination. He has 1,075 votes. 1,215 needed to win. We need 200 more votes. Guess what? And then we can officially say, go. It's not official because we have to wait till July, but we can officially say Trump has enough delegates to go to the national convention and to vote for him. Now they can vote for whoever they want to vote for. It's a free country, unfortunately. Just being sarcastic, by the way. They can vote for whatever they want. They have voting rights too. But or they can either pledge their loyalty to the people. There's something called pledge delegates. They can, in order to do that, they'll pledge their support to a candidate. But I'm thinking most likely, most will pledge their support to a candidate. Like Nikki Haley withdrew. I don't think there is a legitimate reason why they should flock to your famous Nimarata Nikki Haley. But oh yeah, it looks like Trump won that county. I don't know why they don't have that, but this is our county results, our map. Popular vote by county. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Nikki Haley won states carrying count. Nikki Haley carried counties in 7 states. They should get rid of this map. Well, yeah, because it's updated, you know. It's weird how it works, but yeah, I'm checking real quick for super. Yeah, Trump will most likely carry 350 delegates. That's more than needed to declare victory. So yeah, guys, get ready. Trump is going to win on the 12th for sure. Buckle your seatbelts, and we'll be covering those contests next. But next video is going to be Virginia. I'll see you guys in that episode.